ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Well, despite the weather, here we are, ready to go. It's The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 for this Tuesday, January 16th. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Thanks for being with us today. Glad that we're back together once again. We had a good reason for not being here yesterday. Of course, we had NFL playoff action on a Monday. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I think the NFL, if we're going to have 6 games on Super Wildcard Weekend, we should have 2 games on Sunday, 2 games on Monday, 2 games Saturday. Let's do that. I like that. I think that worked out a lot better than having 3 games, 2 games, 1 game. I like just having 2 games a day. It was fun. Hopefully the NFL will look at that and go, hey, you know what? This weather thing kind of messed with it, but it worked out all right. And yesterday, Buffalo beat Pittsburgh. Let's just go ahead and say that now. I was absolutely enjoying watching Pittsburgh get beat by Buffalo. Pittsburgh came back a little bit and made it look interesting. A little hope there, right, for the Steelers fans, and then Buffalo shut that down. It was glorious. And then Tomlin gets asked about his future in that post game. I don't know if you saw the video of this, but Tomlin gets asked that question and just leaves. He's a veteran coach. He knows how to handle that. He could have said, I'm just not discussing that right now. We're not discussing my future. We're talking about the game. He could Belichick that thing. We're moving on. We're on to Cincinnati. He could have given his version of that. We're just, we're not talking about that right now. Just lost the game. First thing we want to talk about, of course, is the game. Now, that question had to be asked. I give the reporter credit for asking that question, but Tomlin could have handled that a lot better. So he leaves, and then, of course, today it comes out that he plans to coach the team next season. So no worries there. He's coming back. I know some Steeler fans they're kind of on the fence. Are they happy with the consistency, but they've kind of plateaued a little bit over the last 10, 15 years maybe? The Steelers aren't making the strides needed to get to the next level. At least he's got a year left on his contract, I think, at least a year. So Tomlin continuing to coach the Steelers. And it's a tough division, but the Steelers haven't had much postseason success in a long time. And I know that's really aggravating to a team that used to be among the best of the NFL on a yearly basis. And then, of course, the other game, Tampa Bay beats Philadelphia 32-9, and then afterwards Jason Kelce tells his teammates that he's going to retire. He had a good run, if this is it. 13 seasons in the league, it's a good run for anyone, and he's definitely elevated his name. He's just one of those guys that he brings more than just what he does on the football field. And, of course, with his brother, they've got that podcast that they do now. And that's sort of transcended. The Kelce's have actually transcended more than just a football fan. They have transcended. There are people who watch now because they like the Kelce brothers. Not just, hey, we're football fans. These guys are cool. I'm not saying the Taylor Swift audience here, but there are a lot of people who watch football because of personalities. Personalities matter. People matter. Not just necessarily your allegiance to your team. It's people sometimes that bring people in. I mean, if you're not in a particular city, so if you're not in Cincinnati or Cleveland or Pittsburgh, who are you going to root for? You're going to root for a team in your state. You're going to root for a team in your region maybe. You're going to root for a team that maybe you like the player. If you're a Patrick Mahomes fan, you could be living in Florida and you're a Patrick Mahomes fan, so you're going to root for Kansas City. And I think Kelce, both Kelce brothers have really brought that to what they've done. And, of course, I've actually listened to their podcast. Someone else who's not a football fan introduced it to me. Okay. They're having fun. Of course, they're wealthy individuals running a podcast, so there's that dynamic, but they're having fun. They bring their mom on. It's really endearing. I like it. Of course, that means now that Tampa Bay is won and that Buffalo's won, we've got everything set. In the AFC, it's going to be Houston and Baltimore. That's going to be the game on Saturday, and then it's going to be followed by Green Bay at San Francisco. And then on Sunday, Tampa Bay is taking on Detroit. It's at Detroit. I know that's an exciting game because here we are, Detroit. Do we start rooting for Detroit in the NFC? I still think it's going to be San Francisco. But Detroit, all of a sudden, they become lovable. And then Kansas City will be at Buffalo. Patrick Mahomes got to go to Buffalo now. Can he handle a playoff game in the cold? We're going to find out. It's football weather. He'll be able to handle it. So NFL was fun yesterday. We'll have it all right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Now, the other news coming out that I thought we should touch on first before we get into who's coming on the show today is it's Sunbelt related. South Alabama coach Kane Womack leaving the job. He's going to join up with his friend Kalen DeBoer. They used to work together at Indiana. They're going to be back together again. Now, Kalen DeBoer is now the new head coach at Alabama. He's going to bring in Kane Womack as the defensive coordinator. So he leaves a head coaching job to go take a job at Alabama. I can't imagine too many people, depending on where you're coaching at. If you're coaching at South Alabama, you're the head coach, that's a great job. No doubt, great job. But you get the opportunity to go work with someone you're friends with, that you've worked together with, and you get to go to Alabama. That could springboard you to something bigger and better. So you take that opportunity. So you hate to see it happen. At the same time, though, if you're South Alabama, get an opportunity to bring a new coach in, and you can use that. Look, our head coach, he took a job at Alabama. He didn't take a job a step down because, honestly, being a defensive coordinator at Alabama is probably more prestigious than being a head coach at many, many schools. No slight on anything. But that's almost a once-in-a-lifetime job to be a defensive coordinator, to be a coach at Alabama, depending on what level of coach you are. I mean, obviously, you want to go out eventually and become a head coach somewhere else, but, to be a defensive coordinator at Alabama, that's a pretty good gig. Alabama's a pretty good gig, so I've been told. All right, we've got more to get into. We've got, of course, Marshall news to get into today. We'll do that later. It's not a quiet day, but it's a weather-stricken day, so not much happening. A lot of cancellations across the tri-state as far as sports concerned. But we do have some pretty fun news to talk about today. And, of course, we'll get your text in. I haven't forgot about that. It's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So coming up in a few minutes, I'm going to bring on a couple of people. Tim Stevens from HD Media is going to join me at 5:30. And from Channel 13 at 5:15, which is coming up right about now, we're going to hear from the sports director at Channel 13, Cassidy Wood. Reason why I want to have both of them on is because the awards came out today for the National Sports Media Association, Sportscaster and Sportswriter of the Year. Now, last year I was so fortunate to be honored by the organization. Luke Creasy, my friend, honored to be the Sportswriter of the Year. So now that the new awards have come out, I wanted to bring on the program the new winners. And Cassidy's coming up first. She is named the Sportscaster of the Year for 2023, so congratulations to her. And Tim Stevens, who I've known a long time, named the Sportswriter of the Year in 2023. So, I feel like we've got a good group of people that cover Marshall athletics and sports in general. There's such a deep roster of people. And so I get to bring Cassidy on here in a minute. We'll talk to her, and then I'll get to bring Tim on. Both of them agreed to do it today. So we'll have Cassidy come up first, and we'll talk a little bit about her award and, of course, the business in general for her when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you need. From the NFL, NBA, NCAA basketball, to college football bowl games and the national championship. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Save big money on your next project with help from Menards. Upgrade your home with new outlets from Legrand, including new USB outlets. Charge more of your devices without the need for bulky AC adapters. All Legrand USB devices are on sale now. Charge the latest devices up to 2 times faster with a 15-amp USB Type-C outlet. Pick one up for $32.99. Hurry in and save big now at Menards. Good through January 21st. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Progressive presents an ad from Mom.
Hello? Is it on? Oh, okay. Bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive and get protection round the clock. Round the clock? Does this generation even understand what round the clock means? But don't go, I'm just saying, because don't come to me when they ask for to do this over, because the kids won't get it.
Get round-the-clock protection when you bundle and save with Progressive. It's easier than getting your mom to make this radio ad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Cut down on heating bills with a central boiler outdoor wood furnace. Heat multiple buildings, pools, and hot tubs, all with one furnace. And get unlimited hot water. Come to Altizer Farm Supply and see the central boiler outdoor wood furnaces at 585 Centerpoint Road in Thurman, Ohio. 740-245-5193.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, all dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to The Drive here on this Tuesday edition, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Yesterday was not a good day for my next guest, the sports director of Channel 13, Cassidy Wood, as the Buffalo Bills beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-17. Not a good day for her, but that's okay because it got better today. She was named officially as the 2023 National Sports Media Association Sportscaster of the Year for the state of West Virginia. She's on the program now. Sorry about the Steelers, but hey, congratulations on everything else.
Yeah, talk about an emotional whirlwind these last 24 hours, huh?
I mean, you got to look
on
at
my couch all depressed last night, and now I'm on cloud 9.
Right, you got to look at Spencer Atkins all happy after 32 years, and you're asking, what about me? And
yeah, exactly. Although I will say I am really happy for Spence and for Lions fans everywhere. And honestly, I'm probably going to be pulling for the Lions now because not a big fan of any of the AFC teams left. So I'm going to go ahead and pull for the Lions, I think.
Spoken like a true AFC fan. Not a fan of anybody else. Just my team. None of the other ones.
Yep, exactly.
Hey, the good news is we all got to watch the meltdown that is the Cleveland Browns. That made me feel good as well.
Well, yes and no. I mean, being a sports journalist, you always kind of root for the storyline, and seeing Flacco come back and, do it for the Browns, it kind of made me excited. As a Steelers fan, like they pulled from the Ravens, and I was kind of hoping he would have to go to Baltimore and face them. But, I guess it's a C.J. Stroud season this year. As you know, Paul, I was down outside of Houston for 2 years helping cover the Texans and stuff, and it was not good time. So to see them turn it around the way they have this year, it's pretty impressive.
I got complete schadenfreude. I want to see everyone else suffer that's not a Bengals fan. That's just me.
Right. Hey, spoken like a true AFC North fan.
Exactly. Cassidy Wood's with us. She was named today officially as the 2023 West Virginia Sportscaster of the Year, and she's alluded to, we'll start there. It's been a fun journey for you over these last few years. Houston wasn't your first place starting, though, as a broadcaster. Where did you get that bug before you actually dove into what this industry is all about?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I always kind of thought I wanted to do it. Like even when I was in high school, I played, three sports or two sports in high school, but I would always, want to be a part of the media side of things. And then when I went to college, it got more prevalent. I actually started in print, and I would do these big feature stories on our football players, basketball players up at Oregon State. And then one night, my junior year, I had a couple guys pull me on their Beaver Sports show because, again, went to Oregon State. And I just fell in love with TV. I fell in love with how fast it was and how tight the deadlines are, and just how every day you never know what you're walking into. And I loved that part of it, so stuck with it. And then, my first actual job in the industry was Beaumont, Texas, right outside of Houston for a little over 2 years. And then I got hired up here in Charleston, and I was MMJ at first on the news side, and then got into sports a little over 2 years ago now. Gosh, almost 3. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I think I met you. Right around 3 years or so ago, because the first time I met you, you had a camera, and you were sitting me down for an interview because our friend Spencer Atkins said, "Hey, Paul, our new sports director, Cassidy, she needs some sound. Can you do something for us?" And this was, of course, when Doc Holliday was let go at Marshall University. So that's the first time I met you, and then you've just skyrocketed ever since. You're a multiple West Virginia Broadcasters Association winner. You've won 2 in a row now for Best Sportscast, right? The Sportscast Award, right? Did I get it? Okay.
Best sports anchor, yeah.
Okay, so you've won that twice now, and you've won other things as well, but this one, you win today, and you've had a pretty fast trajectory here. All of a sudden, you've exploded on the scene, Cassidy, and I think a lot of people are seeing your hard work, because a lot of people don't know this, and I can say it. Cassidy is almost a one-man band all by herself here. She's you're a one-woman army there when it comes to making sure you're hustling. You're at high schools across the tri-state. You're at West Virginia Power Games, or the Dirty Birds now. You're all over the place. You're covering Marshall. You're covering West Virginia. You don't have all the resources that a major market sports department would have. So if you see Channel 13 Sports, it's Cassidy you see out there every night.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. We're coming up on, we actually just passed a year now of, just kind of being me. So, basically 6 days a week, just running around, trying to get everything I can and keep our content up despite limited resources. So it's worked out so far. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And I can't say enough about the people I work with every day, too, on the sports side of things. I mean, you, Paul, have helped me out. As you mentioned, that's how we met. But you also continue to help me out all the time. And Tim Stevens, who you're going to get to talk to here in a minute, who won Best Sportswriter for West Virginia, he also, has helped me out so much. So I really have to thank all of you guys for being there for me and helping me out when I can't get to something. You guys are always looking out for me, and I just really appreciate that too.
You find that different here? Because sometimes I hear from other people that you guys are friendly around here. Do you find that different than other places you've been, or at least your interactions in the media so far? Because it feels like it's so hit or miss. You go to one market, it's not very friendly, but I've never really felt that there's that uber competitive nature where, we're out to get each other as far as the industry is concerned here.
Yeah, I think it's different, right, when you're talking about like print versus broadcast and stuff as well. Like, I'm not going to Keith Morehouse or Mark Martin for, help very often, because, well, they're good friends of mine, and I do, learn from them on a daily basis because they are 2 legends in this area, and I do, learn from them all the time. But I'm not really going to reach out to them to help me, with an interview or something like that, because they're my direct competition, where, you being radio and Tim being print, it's a little bit easier. They can kind of help me out because something that I might use isn't necessarily what you guys will use, like video or an audio or stuff like that. So, I will say, it is very kind here. People, are very helpful. And I think that goes along with limited resources again, is just what, we cover a school that's an hour away from us. So if there's an emergency press conference or something that's happening right away, you guys know that I'm not going to be able to get there right away. I just can't. So I think, there's a lot of give and take between all of us just based on our geographic, like where we are and the resources we do have.
I think something else that Cassidy does really well, and it forces others in the media market to maybe, okay, you got to be careful here because we might look like we're falling behind her, is she's been really good at social media. You're definitely someone who is taken to it. It's natural to you. You do it. You're good with video posting. You're on all the time. You follow all the teams. A lot of the teams follow you back, and they know to reach out to you. You've been really good on social media. You've got a personality. You're not just doing the standard stuff here. Posting links to your podcast or your stories. You're actually having a good time on social media and still having fun because this is sports. We cover the toy department of the general. If life is Walmart, we're in the toy department.
Right. Exactly. And I think, I honestly noticed that when I moved here. Like I said, I started in news here and wanted to go into sports. And I really looked at where I could be different because, again, Mark Martin, Keith Morehouse are my direct competitors. And they're two legends. I mean, they're the best at what they do. And I knew I wasn't going to beat them with sources or, stuff like that, but I could beat them in a different way. Like I could beat them maybe digitally or on social media because that's something I grew up with that, maybe they didn't. So I've, kind of made it a point since I got this role to do that and to find other ways to beat them and again, just not having the sources they do and stuff like that, I have to find other ways to try to keep up with them, honestly. So it might feel to them that it's the other way around, but really I'm just trying to keep up with y'all.
Well, as a few people have over my lifetime told me, in the most sincere way possible, it's iron makes iron better, or the
iron
fact
sharpens iron.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron. And so, I think we all have a good time here, and it's been really fun. And the fact that I honestly think that if you compare all the other schools in the Sun Belt, it's almost as if we all showed up at the same time here, from covering Marshall and covering the region compared to the other schools, we'd outnumber everybody.
Yeah. Like you mean just the media folks?
Yeah, just the media folks. The way we cover, because I don't think a lot of schools have the wealth of riches that we seem to have here as far as the different voices, the different people. I mean, it's sometimes pulling teeth to see coverage for other schools, but you're making sure you're at everything here. If you're a high school basketball program, Cassidy's going to be there. If you're Marshall, Cassidy's going to be there. And I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy because nobody's complacent here, and it feels like we're all doing our best stuff, and we're all doing different stuff as well. So it's really fun to just, hey, let's see what Cassidy's got tonight. Okay, let's find out what Tim's writing about. Everybody's got something different, and we're all coming at it the same point of view. And I really sometimes don't think that people realize we've got it good here. There are a lot of talented people, and you're among them.
Oh, thank you so much, Paul. I really do appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, it is geographic, right? Like you look at Georgia State, they're down in Atlanta. I've tried to reach out and get highlights from people on the ground, sister stations on the ground in Atlanta that go to those games. But Georgia State, not a priority to them. They're dealing with some bigger teams down there. So I do think geographically also has a lot to do with it, but that's not to diminish what any of us. I mean, we all do work our tails off to provide coverage for everybody in the tri-state. So I'm very thankful for this award. I'm thankful for my colleagues who voted for me. And like I said, it's been a little bit of a tougher year, so it just means that much more.
You deserve it. You earned it. Congratulations. I'm excited for you genuinely because I experienced it last year, and it was I felt like I met my people. And I hope you have that same experience as well when you go down to North Carolina and they'll treat you right and they'll take care of you. You'll feel like you've met your people. They do a great job, and you've definitely earned it. Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason I wanted to win, was to go down there and be able to talk to other people in the industry that, you know, I've looked up to and can get advice from. And I mean, I looked at the schedule. It's basically 3 days of like summits and panels and all this stuff. And I can't wait to go down there and soak it up like a sponge, you know. I
think you're gonna enjoy it, because to be honest, I went down there last year, didn't know a soul, and then, you know, I ran into a former play-by-play announcer for Marshall University, Stan Cotton. And I went up to Stan to say hi, and he's like, I remember you, Paul. And that just opened the door for everything. And I've met some people that I still talk to from down there, you know, knowing them, you know, just kind of, hey, okay, they're in the Sun Belt. We've talked once before, and, you know, I think you're going to get those experiences as well. And again, congratulations. You've earned it. You're going to have a blast. You do fantastic stuff. I've been a fan, and I'll continue to be a fan.
Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm just very appreciative to be in the spot I'm in.
Just keep Tim Stevens out of trouble when you're down there, Tim, please. Can you do that for me?
I don't know if I have that kind of control over the guy. I mean, he's wild.
He is. He definitely is. You might have to. I don't know. You know, he stays up till like 10 o'clock. I don't know if you can hang with him.
Right. Exactly.
Congratulations, Cassidy. You deserve it, and have a fantastic time when you go to North Carolina.
Thank you so much. It was good talking to you, Paul. Have a good rest of your day.
That is the National Sports Media Association West Virginia Sportscaster of the Year for 2023, Cassidy Wood. When we continue, the Sports Writer of the Year, Tim Stevens, joins us on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Working Man Store in Huntington. Check out the biggest inventory of scrubs in West Virginia, featuring brands such as Healing Hands, Dickies, Cherokee, and Med Couture at the best price. Working Man Store has one of the largest selections of big and tall shirts, jackets, and jeans in the area. Working Man Store is the king of blue jeans with Levi's, Dickies, Carhartt, Lee, and Wranglers in sizes up to 72. And Working Man Store has the best selection of men's work boots and casual shoes anywhere at the best price. Working Man Store, open every day at 140 5th Avenue, Huntington.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. In Milton, Eric Dodson, 304-390-4515. And in Wayne, Vicki Tabor, 304-272-5149.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, and baked lasagna. Giovanni's has the best sandwiches around, from the stromboli, Italian sub, calzones, and their signature Big Red. All dinners will be served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's Pizza, fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
In the tapestry of life, we encounter stories of legacy and accomplishment, but sometimes also abuse, neglect, or financial exploitation. Adult Protective Services understands the importance of safeguarding the well-being of our loved ones, our neighbors, and our community. To report neglect or abuse, call 800-352-6513. Sponsored by the Administration for Community Living, West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources, Bureau for Social Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project project was supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $383,493, with 75% funded by ACL, HHS, and 25% in the amount of $85,236 funded by state government sources. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Tuesday edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We just spoke with the 2023 Sportscaster of the Year. Let's talk now to the 2023 Sportswriter of the Year in the state of West Virginia. And he's also a good friend of mine, Tim Stevens from HD Media, his first win in the category. Congratulations, Timmy. It's a long time coming and always, always well-deserved.
Thank you so very much, Paul. I appreciate the kind words, and you having won Sportscaster last year. This is an honor to be in the same club with you, and as well as Cassidy. She's a tough act to follow, you know.
She's tough. She's done a lot of good stuff, and I'm happy for her as well. I'm genuinely happy for both of you because you're first time winners, so you get to experience what I got to experience last year, which is fantastic. I love all the opportunities that are awaiting you, and you've only been in the industry, what, 2-3 years now, Tim?
Yeah, almost 2.5 now, or 42.5, I think it is, actually.
That's crazy. That's crazy. When did I first meet you? Do you remember?
Oh goodness. It was, you'd think we would remember that day, wouldn't you?
Right.
I'm sure it was. You were probably still in college at Marshall, and we were covering a football game or a practice or something along those lines. Back in the day, I would think. So it's been a great friendship ever since. So I thoroughly enjoy you. You're a great friend and a good brother. I really appreciate you.
Tim Stevens, my guest from HD Media. So it's been a long time coming. In my mind, it happened. You finally are being recognized, for your work with this organization. Just how did it feel when you found out? Because we were joking a few weeks ago. You were like, guys, I haven't won it yet. You're, the genuinely humble human being you are. Now that you've won it, just what'd that feel like?
Oh gosh, I was just stunned and very humbled and honored. I mean, you look at the list of people who were nominated. My colleague Chuck Landon and my good buddy Gary Fauber and Greg Carey, and some other people who are just excellent journalists and terrific writers, and they work hard. I was just honored to be on the list with those guys. It was really, really stunning when I got the call that I'd won. I was just amazed by it, and it very easily could have been any of those other people on that list, and probably should have. But I'm really just flabbergasted, just overwhelmed by all the messages that I've gotten today and all of the reaction to it, and it's a lot of great friends out there who have made my day.
You mentioned you've been in the industry for 40 some years. Almost half of that, at least more of that, has been not just high school athletics, but you were at one point. You were the beat writer for Marshall University for the newspaper. It was you, Rick McCann with basketball, obviously, but on game day Saturday football, it was you telling us about Chad Pennington and Randy Moss and all those big names.
I like to kid that I'm the winningest beat writer in Marshall history. It had nothing to do with Chad and Randy and Byron and Bobby Pruitt and all those guys. It was all me, So I like to kid about that. But boy, they made my job so easy. It was those teams were so good. It was just about changing the name of the opponent every week because they blew out so many teams and they won so much. It was. And they were just terrific people to deal with and to cover. that's the thing about this. The award has my name on it, but it's the stories out there, the people that I get to cover, or get to write about, get to tell their story. They're the real story here. Without them, we've got nothing. And there are just so many fascinating people out there. People like to read about people, and I love telling their stories. That's the real reward in this.
I don't know if I've ever asked you this, but when you were tiny, Tim, what got you started?
Well, when I realized I couldn't play for the Reds, I figured, well, I might as well write about them. I liked sports and I liked writing, so I thought, well, that leads to sports writing. And I had a teacher, Kathy Bird, in high school, who was my English teacher. I had her for several classes, and she was a huge encouragement to me, as were all of my coaches. And so I started covering games. Anything I didn't play in high school, I would cover for the Ironton Tribune. And they paid me $5 a story. Jimmy Walker did. I'm up to $6.50 now, so hey, and I got my start that way. And then the next year, the Herald Dispatch asked me to come on. I was a freshman at Marshall and started writing for them. And I've just made so many great friends through the years doing that, and had so many tremendous people that I worked with. You mentioned Rick McCann and Dave Wellman and Dave Walsh. And Rick Nolte and Mickey Johnson and Ernie Salvatore, and I could go on and on. Just so many great people. Joe Person, who messaged me today, congratulations. Brian Hoffman, just a lot of people who were just fantastic. Lowell Cade's another one. Just Robin Ryson, a lot of great people. Grant Traylor, who won this award 2 years ago, and Luke Creasy, who won it last year. Of course, Luke's still at the paper, and Grant's at Marshall. This has been a really fun job. I feel like I've fooled them for 42 years. I get paid to watch ball games. That's a pretty good gig if you can get it. And you know how that is.
Yeah, now we expect more out of you. You're an award winner now. We expect more out of you. You got to actually work now, Tim.
Oh, my goodness. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, I'm on the spot now. I'm going to have to work as hard as you do. I don't know if I can handle that.
I'll trade you jobs. You know what? You take all the stuff that nobody sees me do, and I'll take all the stuff nobody sees you do, and we'll probably be screaming for each other's job back here in a week, right?
No doubt about it. Yeah, you're great at what you do, so I can't fill your shoes on that end.
Tim Stevens is with us. He is the 2023 National Sports Media Association West Virginia Sportswriter of the Year. 3 straight now for HD Media, more importantly for the Herald Dispatch, which is a part of HD Media, but still, 3 straight times. And they say journalism is dead, Tim. You guys are proving them wrong over there at the HD.
We're trying our best, I have to credit the folks who read my stuff, our editors. Zach Lemmy's terrific editors, our sports editor, and those I've had in the past were to Grant and Rick Nolte and Mickey, and all those guys. Mike Connell was the sports editor when I started. That goes way back, and I have to give all of them a lot of credit for they read my stuff before it gets in the paper and fix it all up and take really good care of us. Then all the desk people who put it out, they're wonderful too. And it's a team award. It really is. That sounds cliche, but it is. Those people I mentioned deserve this just as much as anyone.
Tim Stevens is with us from HD Media. So now that you've won this award, and you'll go down to North Carolina in a few months and hopefully have a fantastic time. Now that you've won this, we expect another 20 or 30 years out of you. No talk of retirement or anything like that, right?
People ask me when I'm going to retire, and I tell them, oh, heck, I get paid to watch ball games. Why would I retire? I'm having fun with what I do. I thoroughly enjoy it, and as long as I can do it, I think I'll keep doing it. So, there are not a lot of people who get to do what I do. So it's a fun job. No, you're not going to get overwhelmingly rich doing it, but you think about it, and you and I get to watch ball games that other people pay hundreds or thousands of dollars to see. Like I said, it's a pretty good gig if you can get it.
Tim Stevens, my guest. Maybe we need to parlay that into people pay us hundreds. What do you think?
like the way you think. That has potential now.
I mean, there you go. I mean, like, look, you for the right price, you can sit where Tim Stevens sits.
Absolutely. I'll give up my seat, and I'll just cover a game from somewhere else.
Exactly. You know what? Yeah, for a few $100s, you switch seats. You can just sit where Tim sits, and Tim will sit where you sit, and let them cover the post game. I don't know. We'll make it work.
We'll have to work on that. Of course, if they're sitting where I am, it's next to you a lot of times. So it's we might have to give up both those seats there.
I'm selling mine too. What are you talking about?
Absolutely.
I'm selling mine. You know what? And I'm going to sell it as if you get to sit next to Luke Creasy from HD Media.
Now you're talking. There you go, Luke,
right?
and his little table there at Marshall.
I used that the other day. I used that. I got to use it twice up there in the the Sky Loft. I don't know what we're going to name that thing just yet. Where we sit, the Sky Loft, because everybody used to sit underneath the Sky Loft, and it was the Paul Swann Pavilion, and now the band is occupying the Paul Swann Pavilion, so I had to move up. And I don't know, is it the Paul Swann Porch? I don't know.
Yeah, that's not a bad name. I like that. We need to hang a moniker on that thing. It definitely needs it. And Paul Swann Porch, that's a good one. I like that.
I like it. Tim Stevens is with me from HD Media, named the 2023 Sports Writer of the Year, and so he gets recognized for his work. And if anyone was deserving, it's Tim. He's been covering Marshall athletics and sports in the tri-state for a very long time, to the point where Dan D'Antoni was cracking jokes about how old you were. And I thought that was uncalled for, but, I mean, what are you going to say to Dan?
Danny and I, we can bust on each other. We've known each other for a long time. I knew his dad real well, and so and of course Mike. So yeah, we can kind of rag on each other a little bit. We've earned the right to do that when you've been around as long as we have.
My guest, Tim Stevens, HD Media, 3 times in a row now. Someone from that fine organization has won Sports Writer of the Year, and then Tim is the most recent winner. And then next year, I'm sure it'll be Luke or Chuck or somebody else. It rotates. They've got a great rule where you can't win next year, so we'll just rotate Luke or Chuck back up there now. You guys,
there you go.
Yeah, you guys are just having like a nice little rotation going.
That sounds good. We'll keep it all in the family here, and like a pitching rotation. We're calling up Luke next year to win it, and and I'll take another turn sometime, and we'll throw Chuck in the mix somewhere along the line. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
that's what we'll do.
It'll be fun. Make sure you get a pay raise out of this, okay?
Yeah. If Doug Reynolds is listening,
Doug, make it happen. Come on, make it happen, Doug. Put some of that HD Media money into Tim.
I like the way you think. I do. I got to hang with you more often.
You need to. You need to. Absolutely. You've been hanging out with. It's okay to hang out with certain members who you hang out with, but you need to hang out with me more.
Definitely. I think. Yeah, we're going to have to do that. That will be good. We can strut our awards in front of everybody.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Tim Stevens, my guest. You're going to be hanging out with Cassidy Wood in North Carolina in a few months, and she's got instructions to keep you out of trouble.
Oh my goodness! I hope she can. I hope she's up for that. I'm a pretty wild guy, as you know. So that'll be fun. I really look forward to it. I've heard nothing but good about what happens down there at that weekend and such, and that should be a really good time. I look forward to it, and I'm so happy for Cassidy because she works her fanny off. She really does. She works really hard, and she beat out a really impressive field too there. So I'm happy for her.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people. Everyone who was nominated is deserving, and it's tough every year to pick one person, and so Cassidy wins, and it's well deserved. And hopefully that Cassidy and you have a time that you'll never forget. And I'm glad I got to talk to both of you. Hey, I know you guys now. Hey, I get to say I know Tim Stevens.
That'll take you a long way, partner. I like to say I know Paul Swann. That opened some doors for me there.
Find out. Try that. See what happens. Okay, do that for me.
You got it, partner.
Congratulations, buddy. It's good. I'm glad you won, and I was so happy when you were nominated and then won. it's a long time coming, so congratulations.
Well, thank you, my friend. I truly appreciate it. It's an honor.
Now get back to work, okay?
That's right. I got stories to write.
Right. You got to run. You got to write stories about games being delayed because of snow. Go write those.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been updating that one all day long. So yeah.
And that's why you're the 2023 Sports Writer of the Year.
There you go. Good call.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you.
More coming up. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, Tri-State. Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you need. From the NFL, NBA, NCAA basketball, to college football bowl games and the national championship. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Get the tire that will see you through the cold and then some. The long-lasting all-season Michelin Cross Climate 2 tire, because winter doesn't last forever. Between 11:15 and 12:05, get $70 via reward card or virtual prepaid card after online submission with the purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires. $70 tire rebate on all tire lines, plus a $30 bonus rebate on Michelin winter tires only. See TikTok Tire, 3rd Avenue in Huntington, across from Jones C. Edwards Stadium.
www.michelinman.com/auto/deals-promotions-and-rebates for complete detail. Offer expires 12/5/23. Void where prohibited.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Swisher & Losi Pharmacy, independently owned with free local delivery and drive-through service. 636 East Main Street, Pomeroy, Ohio. Area Agency on Aging, Southern Ohio's designated aging and disability resource network. Dutch Miller Kia, Route 60 in Barbersville, the home of friends and family pricing for everyone.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
The more vulnerable among us can fall victim to abuse, neglect, and financial exploitation. When navigating your way out, it doesn't have to feel like a maze. Assistance is available from Adult Protective Services. To report neglect or abuse, call 800-352-6513. Sponsored by the Administration for Community Living, West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources Bureau for Social Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station.
This project was supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $383,493, with 75% funded by ACL HHS and 25% in the amount of $85,236 funded by state government sources. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We're wrapping up today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Some good news coming out of Marshall basketball today. Marshall guard Aislinn Hayes named the Sun Belt Conference Women's Basketball Player of the Week. She led the Sun Belt with 9 3-pointers during the 10th week of the season. Had a career-high 6 in the team's 72-60 win over Coastal Carolina Saturday. Marshall looking good right now. Undefeated in Sun Belt play. Marshall is 5-0. She's averaging 12.9 points a game. She's definitely one of those standout players that you're glad that made the transfer over. She's a transfer from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Marshall's got to hang on to that lead, though. They're 5-0 conference play. They've got a homestand coming up. Hopefully the weather is going to agree with us, and they'll take on Old Dominion Thursday at 6 o'clock from the Henderson Center. And I'm hoping we can get Aislinn on. If we can, we'll talk to her the next day or two. We hopefully can do that for you because this is Marshall's first in either men's or women's basketball. This is the first Player of the Week nod this season. Hopefully this will be the start of more to come. The Thundering Herd on the men's side haven't been able to nab one of those just yet, but that hasn't been for lack of trying. So good win today for everyone. I mean, we got Tim Stevens from HD Media winning a big award, a major award. Cassidy Wood, major award, and we've got a Player of the Week in the Sun Belt, so that's good stuff. All right, unfortunately, that's going to do it for this edition of the show as soon as the music hits right now. Like I timed that, isn't it? Hey, thanks for being a part of it. Seriously, we love to have fun around here because, again, it's sports. It's fun. That's what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about fun. Thanks for being on the show today, Cassidy. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate both of you. Congratulations. I am super excited for them. It's fun to sometimes talk about your friends, and those are two people that I really enjoy having on the show and enjoy talking to outside of the sports thing. And so congratulations to them. That's going to do it. Thanks for tuning in. Back with you tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Podcast available, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Paul Swann. Thanks for tuning in here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Have a great night, everyone.
Retransmitting on Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.